All right, Rhinos, how are you all doing? Good to see you all. So today we're going to do an interview with my friend Ruud, which has probably butchered his name completely, but no, Ruud is a type 2 diabetic, and we're going to be asking him questions about his journey with diabetes. But first, we're going to find out a bit more about him. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how old you are, if you're married, what you do for a living, or that type.
Well, my name is Ruud. Properly spoken, I'm Dutch, so I understand it's difficult to pronounce for native English people. Like I said, I'm Dutch. I live up north in Holland, in Friesland, and together with my wife Yolanda. I am 54, and what is it today? It's November 3rd. Is it today?
Second.
Oh, no, it's the second night.
Okay.
In 2 months' time, in 2 months' time we'll be married for 30 years. So we've been together for a long time. We raised two fantastic kids who are completely on their own, independent now. And what am I doing right now? Since a few years, we started making a shift from traditional to digital and building an income online. And we started doing that with online marketing, and we're now developing a video editing course. That's my part, and both of us are planning to write and publish on Amazon. Yeah, and my background is I was an IT consultant for 20 years until 3.5 years ago when I got ill. That's when the shit hits the fan, so to speak. But it was miserable, but not really, because it opened a lot of doors for me, which gave me the opportunity to do what we do now. Like Brilliant. I said to you, John, we are in the south of France right now for 6 weeks, living the digital lifestyle.
Fantastic. That's awesome. I'm so jealous that you're there.
Don't be.
We're good.
If you get inspired by what we do, that's good, but don't be jealous. Don't compare.
So let me ask you a question then. How long when did you get diagnosed with type 2 diabetes?
Right at that moment when I got ill in 2016. That was, I ended up in hospital because I had a sort of a thing up above in the brain, but influenced my eyesight. And with the examinations in the hospital, they also found out that my blood sugar levels were 26, if I remember well. So wow. That was an amazing day. Not.
Was that your A1C 26?
Sorry?
Was it A1C?
Yeah, is it A1C? It's the old level.
Yeah.
26, wow. Yes. And but everything that in the 1.5 years or so after that, I got several how do you call it, medical examinations in the hospitals, and in the end, the end conclusion from all the doctors was that the diabetes was probably the prime suspect. That was what I was looking for.
Right.
For everything that happened, and but yeah, the diabetes was in fact the only thing that we could really do something about. And in 2016 already, immediately the day after they found out that I was diagnosed with diabetes. And by the way, you said when you introduced me, Ruud is a diabetic. I have diabetes, but I am not the diabetes. I have the standpoint that it's temporary, so I am not. Just like you, we have to be positive.
That's it.
And but yeah, we started to we took action right away, before even the doctors could advise us on anything. Yeah, the most thing was stop sugar, definitely, and cut carbs. And but
before we
sorry.
get into, can I ask you, what was your lifestyle like? What was your lifestyle like before you got ill and went into the hospital?
I was very unhealthy. I like I said, I worked in IT, and for the last 4 years, I think, since 2012, I made a shift from one department in the company to a new department, and we were since that moment we were busy implementing our software with a pilot project, a client, and that didn't go very well. And that project gave me so much frustration, but I just kept going. Yeah, I should have known better, but I always hoped it would fall into place, but it didn't. But that, especially those last years, I was stressed, I was frustrated, and Yolanda tried to talk to me because she saw that it was not going very well. When we started to think about that afterwards, we said I was sleepwalking, I was living like a robot, eating unhealthy, a lot of hours in the car, stopping at the gas station and eating unhealthy foods and that sort of stuff. Away from home 12 hours a day, and also working evenings and sometimes weekends. My biggest how do you call it, expansion, where I could relieve, was the music. I also played in a band. So often I had a busy week at work, and in the weekend I had a busy weekend playing 2 nights with the band and staying away until early in the morning.
Do you still have the band?
Sorry?
Do you still have the band? Are you still in the band?
No. I had to quit that. My eyesight prevents me from driving, especially at night.
Right.
And I don't have the energy anymore. Often in the weekends, I left home at 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 4 o'clock, and I got home 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning for playing at a wedding in the other side of the country.
Yeah.
So, and I had a tremendous, I played in cover bands for more than 20, 25 years or something. Awesome. But I still love music, and I like to make music and listen to music, but it's a different part of my life. It's gone, and I don't look back at that with I don't get homesick or something. How do you call that? But
yeah, no homesick. So I gather then your level of exercise at that time was literally when you were playing in the band. That was about it, was it?
Yes, and the steering wheel in the car. But
yeah, I remember those days.
But the exercise, maybe sometimes when you were at a customer or in my own office, sometimes during lunch break we went for a little walk, but there was every now and then. There's not structural. So with the band, you're right. With the band, I had the most exercise because I was standing on my feet the whole night.
Yeah. So
but also drinking.
Yeah.
Not too much alcohol, because I realized that I had to go home safely at night. But iced tea and cola and that sort of stuff, a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
Also to keep up the energy. And I remember that in the evening that I ended up in 2016 with the visual stuff, I had a few iced teas, but not the modern iced teas of sugar-free, but the real stuff.
Yeah,
a couple of glasses after another, and maybe that was I don't know, and I don't want to know. It's in the past.
If someone had offered you like healthy options during that period of your life, how would you have responded to that?
I don't know, because Yolanda offered me that sort of thing as well.
Yeah.
But maybe that's too close, and that's safe to ignore it. If I would have I don't know if I would ended up in hospital for something and the doctor had warned me. I don't know. I stopped smoking before that already a couple of years. That was one benefit, but and I didn't start snacking more, not at all after I stopped smoking. So I didn't gain weight because I stopped smoking, but Yolanda tried to point me in the right direction, but I was really ignorant.
Yeah, that's it. What would you say your symptoms were? Did you know that once you become a diabetic and they point out the symptoms to you, but what symptoms did you have in hindsight?
There were symptoms in hindsight, especially with my legs, that I had. I woke up in the morning and I got out of bed, and I had told Yolanda several times, I'm more tired when I get up than when I go in. And but that was I wasn't aware enough to think about that in a way that it might be something serious or whatever. And there were more little things in the years before that. I'm not gonna go into details about that, but in hindsight, they all could be related to the diabetic.
Did you find that your bruises were taking longer to heal? Your cuts and bruises were taking longer to heal as well?
No, the thing is that the specific items that a lot of diabetic problems, a lot of people with diabetes have, like wounds that won't heal or bruises. I don't have that problem. My feet are numb. I don't know the correct English word for that. Here we call it neuropathy, something.
Yeah, numb is
neuropathy. Yeah, but for the rest, I'm very lucky. My feet look very healthy, and I don't have real. My energy is sometimes low, and that's not really that my blood sugar is low, but my visual problem. My left eye and my right eye are not in sync, in focus, and that's taking a lot of energy as well. So digital lifestyle, I spending the whole day in front of an Excel sheet like I used to do before. That's not the case anymore. When I do a call like this really relaxed, because I look at you, but I don't have to focus on the screen like this. So this is okay, but stuff like website things, and I have to do it batch-wise in small amounts spread over the day.
Did you get the thirst, the vampiric thirst, I like to call it?
So sorry, what do you say there?
Did you get the thirst where you have to drink a lot?
Also, yeah, but also that's something that I wasn't really aware of, and sometimes people joked about that. Because, wow, you have your glass empty already. Yeah, okay. I'm thirsty. So that was one of the, after looking back, that was one of the things that was typically diabetes. Yeah.
Yeah. And did you, before you went into hospital, did you notice you were losing weight and going to toilet a lot?
No.
No, you didn't get to that point.
No.
No, just the thirst. Yeah, that's why I call it the vampiric thirst. That's the closest you can ever find out what a vampire feels like.
I have to drink, So, now I get it, yeah.
So it's like that. So when you got, obviously you'd gone to the hospital, you got diagnosed. Did you immediately cut out your blood sugars, or did it take you a little while before to sort of change your diet?
No, the next day.
The next day.
Yes, the next day we not only stopped sugar. Right, I drank a lot of coffee. If you're in IT and you're on the road, you drink a lot of coffee. No milk and normally no sugar, but sometimes. At that time I used sugar, but sometimes the artificial sweet stuff. But we got that right away. I drink black coffee with nothing in it. And for carbs, I only eat carbs at lunch and at dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 moments every day. And in the morning, I eat an omelette or a sausage or whatever, just that sort of stuff. But when I was in my job, there was no exception that I ate, it's a sandwich is 2 slices, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, but I had 5 sandwiches on a day.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 10 slices of bread, 2 before I left, and I took 6 or 8 with me. And often that was not enough. So I also stopped on the way back home. I had to drive at least an hour most of the time, sometimes 2 or more. So stop at a gas station, get something warm or something sweet, and eat before you drive home. So I really took in a lot of carbs and a lot of sugar every day. And we stopped that from one day to the next.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. And I immediately bought the thing to measure my blood levels.
Yeah.
A meter, I call it a meter.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
okay. And in a week, I had my blood sugar level at 15.
Yeah.
13. I remember it was half. It was as the week before, without medicine.
Yeah. That's
just
good.
by cutting all those shit that we eat. And well, I had to go to my own doctor for the checkup, and he wanted to give me medicine. And in the end, I took that because I couldn't get my levels drop more with just the natural, with only the diet. So I got metformin, and I still have that. And I had a while for the, how is it called? I forgot the name.
Glucoside.
Yeah, glycoside.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a small one of that one a day, and eventually my levels were so low that the doctor said, okay, you can quit that. That was just before we went to Italy. When we came back from Italy, it was too high again. So I took it again, and so I still use the pills, but I don't have to inject myself, and I'm very grateful for that.
Was there a particular?
I have a new thing, by the way, as well, and I think that affects my blood sugar also. And I don't know if it's the name on it. The main purpose was cholesterol. Is that the English word as well?
Yeah.
Okay, the cholesterol was too high.
Yeah.
And the doctor wanted to give me something for that as well, and I refused that because it was a little too high, not very. And I know that in countries like Germany, it needs to be twice or triple as what we in Holland use before you get anything. So, but I have a natural stuff, and I looked it up in English. Red rice yeast.
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah.
Okay, this is in the form of pills, big ones. They're bigger than my metformin, but I do one of these a day since I think I started this just before we went here to France. So a little over 2 weeks, and I measured. I don't measure every day because I told you before I don't want to be focused on the diabetes.
Yeah. We'll get onto that in a second.
Yeah, and my blood sugar today was just before lunch. It was 4.7.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. Yep. So is that the lowest it's been?
Sorry?
Is that the lowest it's been? Your blood sugar 4.7?
No, I think once I was below 4, but normally it's around 5. Yeah. Before lunch. Yeah. And in the morning, I have to. I don't know if that in Holland we call it the dawn effect. Yeah. In the morning, sometimes it's a little higher, but the times when I measured it here, since we're in France, the morning was around 8. In the morning, this morning it was below 8. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. So let's go back a bit. When you first started cutting out sugar and cutting out carbs out of your diet, did you go on a specific diet to begin with? Or
we tried that, but I'm a very difficult eater. I learned a lot since that Yolanda and I have been together. She corrected me very well because I was spoiled as a kid. If you don't like it, okay, mommy will make something else for you.
Oh, right. Okay.
I learned I learned to eat a lot of stuff over the years, but there are still some things that I really don't like. And one of the things that we tried for a little while to cut carbs completely.
Mm.
Okay, I really love pasta and I love potatoes and I love bread, and so we tried to make spaghetti from eggplant and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, courgettes.
Yolanda has her earpods in as well, but she hears me talking about spaghetti and eggplants, and that really kill me. If I'm alive and I want to feel alive, and I don't want to feel like I am an eggplant. So we changed that, and we also tried 100-gram carbs diet, but it didn't really change anything. And you're constantly focusing on it. And with law of attraction, what you focus on, you attract. So we eat carbs 2 times a day, and sometimes we treat ourselves with a nice dessert, or today it's my turn to have a glass of wine, and it's all good. And so in the afternoon, I eat a fraction of the bread that I used to eat, because here in France it's a little bit more, because the pain that they have here, the bread is ridiculously tasty, very good. But at home I have 1 slice of bread every day instead of the 10 that I used to eat. So I eat so much less than I did, but I can still eat what I love to eat. And we also discovered new recipes, because I like meat.
Yes.
Well, meat and diabetes is no problem.
No.
I love a good steak. So for a few years ago, we were on holiday in the south of France, on the other side, and on the Spain side. And on the coast there, we had a restaurant where we had lunch, and they had a sort of mixed menus. So you had half of this and half of that. So you had the salad with pasta, but just a little bit, and steak. Wow, made my day. So that's what we yesterday we had this as well here. A little bit of pasta with garlic, a nice steak, and a salad. Wow. Carry me away, because that's one of my favorite things, and it's very good with diabetes, because a little pasta is not a problem. You don't. In the past, I was used to throw the whole plate full of pasta and enjoy it, but I enjoy it just as much now, and maybe even more.
I saw someone showed me a picture. Their son was in Italy, and he was showing me a picture of a food that they've got out there, a pasta, which is very low carb, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere. But he showed me a picture of it, so that might be interesting to see if that expands out. But
it's really strange that even people who are considered experts on a diet with no sugar, it's not no sugar, and that people cut sugar and we drink Cola Zero and that sort of stuff. But at the same time, we eat stuff with carbs in it, and people don't realize that it has the same effect.
Yeah.
I never knew that as well, by the way, so I'm not going to call people ignorant, but it's more people should be aware of that, what we take in.
There's more sugar in orange juice than there is in a high energy drink, so
For example, yes, if people think that if you have diabetes and you don't eat sugar, you can eat fruit. Banana. Yeah, a banana. The banana of all the fruits, that's the top.
Yeah.
The top level sugar. So I like to eat grapes,
Yeah.
Strawberries in summer, an apple every now and then, but all in that hour of carbs during lunch or dinner.
Yeah. I think you're right. And also getting on to your point earlier, is I find if you try to live your life like a monk and just be healthy constantly, you're just I think you make yourself worse. I think it's okay now and again just to let it go. Do you know what I mean?
I consider you and me as healthy guys, and we're not rabbits.
Yeah, exactly. So if I've had a good week, I've got no problem having a Chinese meal. Do you know what I mean? If I've been good for the week, because it relieves the pressure a bit, So
that's something, by the way. That's also something that we learned to do. We both love Chinese as well. And you have the fried rice. I don't know if you had that in England, because from my history, I know that Chinese in Belgium and Holland is already not the same. So I don't know what it is with you, but rice is also a lot of carbs.
Mm.
And if you get a takeaway Chinese with rice, it's mostly it's a lot, and especially for two people. So we make portions of that, and we do it in the freezer.
Yeah.
And in the weeks after that, sometimes we just fry it, and we eat that with a little rice and then fish.
Mm.
And fish is something that I never ate before, and that's something that I learned to eat over the past few years. Tilapia, panga, I don't know if that's ring a bell. Salmon, it's all good.
Yeah, you like fish. So let's move on to
No, I don't like fish. I eat those fish because Yolanda prepares it in a way that it doesn't taste like fish anymore. with a lot of garlic.
Yeah.
And we learned the salmon. I like smoked salmon already. That's good. But last year we were in London with a friend, and she prepared salmon for us with duck sauce. And we had no idea what duck sauce was. So it took us almost a year to find it in Holland and what it was and where we could buy it. So now we have it as well. But that's how I started eat salmon, normal salmon from the oven or pan or whatever. But fat fish with a lot of fat is good. But I didn't like it because it tastes like fish. And now it doesn't.
Yeah, because you cooked in it. Disguise it. Cauliflower rice, I'm a bit like that with cauliflower rice. As long as there's lots of meat or whatever my wife puts on top of it, if I couldn't eat it by itself, but when it's with other stuff, it's quite I can cope with it then. So, but it's easy to deal with. Let me ask you.
In Holland, we were raised as a kid with potatoes, vegetables, and meat.
Yeah.
And gravy.
That's it, yeah.
But that was also, for me, that I was used a lot of potatoes, a little veggies, and meat. But now I have 1 or 2 potatoes instead of half the plate full of potatoes. So I still get to eat what I love, but just in little.
We cook the potatoes and then we let them cool down, and then I'll eat them cold, and then that doesn't affect my blood sugar as much then when I have potatoes. So, but I say I have loads of potatoes. I might have it like once a week or whatever. That doesn't seem to affect the blood sugar as much. Can I ask you about what type of exercise you're doing at the moment?
A walk. That's it.
How often do you?
At home we have a home trainer, but we didn't take it with us to France. But to be honest, here we're on a hill. And it's too steep to walk for me. So down here, the only time when I walk is when we're down in the city or somewhere else, and mostly I walk to the supermarket through the supermarket. I did a good walk in the city last week. I I just went to all the narrow streets, all the the medieval. It's a medieval city, the old center. So I really love being there. So in the coming weeks, I'll probably do that a few times again. But normally when we're at home, at least 5 days a week, I walk for 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes longer. Every day walking.
It just goes to show, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what exercise you do, as long as you're doing some form of exercise. That's the most important thing. And if you can
yeah, like I said, to be honest, here in France, I'm not doing very much because we are, we have to go down the hill with the car, because walking down might be okay, but you also have to go up on another hill, and I don't have the energy for that. And if I start walking here and I say to Yolanda, pick me up in half an hour from there, I don't know if I'll make it there. So I'm not going to take the risk.
Yeah. So you've mentioned a few times as we've talked today about the law of attraction, and this is one of the things I'm really, really keen to ask you about.
Yeah.
How does the law of attraction work with your diabetes? How do you see those two things interacting? And for those people who don't know what the law of attraction is, you might want to give a brief description of what the law of attraction is.
The law of attraction is one of the universal laws that everything works by, and as I have learned it, that we have one of the universal laws is the laws of vibration, and the law of attraction is about vibration, and it's about, we are like a TV station. If you don't tune it in to the right frequency, you don't get the right picture, or with a radio. And the law of attraction is you receive what you send out. We are a vibrational creature, and we vibrate on a certain frequency. And if you are down all day and you have a very low vibration, low frequency, then in most cases you also attract that sort of stuff. And anyway, with the law of attraction, what you pay attention to, what you focus on, is what you attract. And that's why I said earlier, I try not to focus on my diabetes. I have this thing here, a very joyful purple color with my pills. And in Holland, when we were a kid, we had chewing ball machines in the shop. And you throw a quarter in and you got a chewing gum ball. And we call this my chewing gum ball machine. And not the medicine or pills or whatever. Just don't focus too much on it. And I get it, it's not possible for everybody, because I'm lucky that my levels are low, and I'm absolutely convinced that my lifestyle and our focus and our positive vibration will get me also free of all that stuff, combined with exercise. But it's all about belief. Law of attraction is also about belief, because just thinking about getting better or getting healthier is not doing it. You have to believe it and see yourself like that.
It's like that great Henry Ford quote, isn't it? If you think you can or you think you can't, you're probably right.
Exactly. And there are a lot of people who heal themselves just by thinking positive. And there are also a lot of people who think themselves sick. Your own thoughts are so powerful, but somehow we lost that knowledge in somewhere. I don't know when. We all see things in the past that are incredible. What the Egyptians did, that's not possible. We don't know what they were capable of anymore. And there's so many good knowledge that is pushed away by. This week I saw something about the big pharma industry. They're not busy curing cancer, they're busy making money. And that's the same with all that stuff. Who decided that vegetables were healthy, and somewhere somebody decided what was healthy for us and what not. And if somebody tells you that something is bad for you, and you believe that, whether you're coming back to Ford again, whether you think you can or you can't, if you believe in something, that's a powerful emotion, and you will attract that. So I'm convinced that people heal themselves from certain diseases because they believe that they can. I think that's where diabetes, it works the same.
Yeah, definitely. I think believing that you can change your circumstances, especially around diabetes, is a massive part of that. Because I think when we all know people I've definitely got friends who got diabetes, and all they do is take the medication. They do very little exercise, but they don't believe they can reverse it. And
but they believe that those chewing gum balls will help them.
Yeah.
And they do. Miracle.
But it's like even though like they see me reverse it, they still don't believe they can do it, you know? So it's interesting, isn't it? But I do believe a lot of it is definitely around mindset and your belief. And if you keep on saying to yourself that you're not, like, if you keep on labeling yourself, that's why our slogan is "You're not a number, you're a rhino." Because if you keep on labeling yourself as this thing, then you will always be that thing. Yeah. So it's just like, so, but by thinking of yourself as a charging 6,000 pound rhino that can smash anything and can accomplish anything because nothing can stop you, then you're focusing on where you want to be rather than where you are or where you think you are. In reality, you're not there, because it's just a lot of it. Because like you said, a lot of your story, which I found really good, is the level of stress that was in your life as well. Yeah. And a lot of studies are coming out now showing that stress is a massive aspect of dealing with type 2 diabetes.
And what's up here? Your beliefs, your paradigms. Actually, Yolanda and I talked about this because we knew this interview was coming, and my father had diabetes. My brother has diabetes. My sister has diabetes. So if you grow up in an environment with diabetes, even if you're not consciously focusing on it, it's not really strange that they diagnosed me with diabetes in the end.
Yeah.
But I was just going with the flow, and that I've learned a lot in the past 2-3 years. Okay, that might be my rescue, but for most people, it's just go with the flow, and
and then it's too late. So the one question I wanted to ask you, so I'm sorry for backtracking, but we'll come back.
No problem.
What was it like coming off sugar? When you that first month or two when you cut out the sugar, what was it like?
I think that the shock of that dreadful day in hospital completely wiped out all the negative feelings about cutting the sugar and the carbs. The most terrible thing that I thought, was when we tried to lose carbs completely. So eat just without carbs. That was the most terrible thing. But eating without sugar, just like when I quit smoking, I think I never really had a problem with it. Drinking soda, cola or that sort of thing, I didn't do that very much anyway. I quit drinking beer. But every now and then, yesterday we had lunch here in a restaurant in our harbor. Okay, a lovely lunch. I'll have a beer. But every time it's in that hour that we eat carbs as a part of our meal, and not a whole evening on the terrace or in the bar drinking beer like I used to do. That's out of the question. But I don't miss that.
No, I find I don't miss it either. I don't miss it either. So how would you, how would you explain your life now since you went into hospital? I always say that type 2 diabetes is the best thing that ever happened to me, right? Because it changed my life completely. How would you compare your life now compared to then when you went into the hospital?
I think I can only agree. It cost me something, but it also brought me a lot. Not just in lifestyle, but everything. That day in hospital was the start of a complete journey that turned our life completely around. Becoming aware of not only your own body, your own health, but starting to think about life and about setting goals together, what we never did. So it started a process of becoming aware. So in that way, the diabetes was one of the best things that ever happened to me, combined with the fact that my vision is the reason that I can't go back to work anymore. That were things that came together, and for most people it would sound terrible, but if my mindset would be still the same as 4 years ago with the things that happened, then I would be in hell right now. But now I'm the luckiest guy on earth, because there are things that I can't do anymore, but there are a lot of things that I can do. And the freedom we have now, and being able to do what we do, like I said, I'm 54, but I'm sort of early retired and having fun. But I just have to do it in a slow pace.
Just do it. So what are you doing? What are you doing? What projects are you working on? What is you landed up to at the moment? What are you doing at the moment to keep things going and moving?
I'm a sort of back office right now for Yolanda's preparation for the Kindle publishing. She's preparing our first ebook on Kindle, and a lot will follow, and I'm going to contribute to that as well. So that's her focus, the writing and publishing. And the beauty is that we're not native English, but we want to do it properly. We want to deliver quality, but it's very easy to outsource proofreading, editing, and even writing. If you have an outline and a topic that you write about, you can outsource that and get it back and format it, make a cover, and it's your book. So there's a lot of possibilities there. And for me, like I said, I'm a sort of back office. I do the research stuff, and I'm doing research in my own stuff that I wrote in the past years, because I stumble upon a lot of things that I can use in my ebooks as well, combined about certain subjects and deliver value where people, can benefit other people. Sorry.
What type of? Do you want to talk about what type of subjects the books are going to be about?
That is mostly personal transformation, mindset, awareness, that sort of stuff, and the digital lifestyle. What does that mean? Freedom, and how can you get there? And how now we talked about adverts on YouTube earlier on. All the things that you see that people tell you, okay, selling your time for money, it's a system that's 200 years old, and the world is changing. Why don't we change that? And the possibilities are right in front of us. I want to write about that too. Make people more aware. I wish that I knew that 10 years before, that somebody would have put it in my face and say, hey, it's not necessary to do it, especially only in the way that you're doing it. So and the personal transformation, I think that's the main thing, because we started from traditional to digital and building an online income, but the big surprise was everything that was coming next to that with working on yourself. It's not just about money, it's about becoming the best version of yourself. That's the changes that we have made in the last 2.5 years on personal level. I don't care about the investments that we did. It's priceless. It's worth every penny. So we learned a lot, we can help a lot of people, and we can also earn an income out of it. So what do you want more of that?
That's brilliant, isn't it? And if people wanted to follow you and find out more about your books and stuff that you want to bring out, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to be really interested in what you've got to say, where can they follow you? Where can they get that information from?
The best place is our Facebook page. Just look for Yolanda Ruud, our names together. And we will talk about our work there, about the video editing stuff that I'm building, and the books that we're going to publish. Everything will be found on our Facebook page.
That's brilliant. Well, I'll stick a link below for that, so if people want to follow it, they can press on that, follow you. So that's absolutely no problem. That's fantastic. So before we wrap up here, have you got anything else that you'd like to add? Or,
famous last words.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add? A message you'd like to send?
No, it's not really a deeper message. It's about positivity. I think it's I believe it's a quote from Charlie Chaplin. A day without laughter is a wasted day.
Brilliant.
There's always something positive.
Absolutely.
And, that's what we are. We try to live by that every day.
Fantastic. That's brilliant. Well, I'd like to thank you very much for doing this interview.
My pleasure. You're welcome.
A lot of value to all you rhinos out there watching. And so, as I say, I'll put the link below, and we'll end this up here now. And I hope you found all of this useful. And remember, people, you're not a number. You're a rhino. Now charge.